Hey everyone, this is Toxic Roach here again with my third dungeon video. This video here was here to show that my third dungeon. This dungeon was meant to be a small adventure map. My first crack in an adventure map, which had a story and a little more of gameplay, use more of a command blocks and stuff like that. Be a little more concealed within Minecraft. I think I called it something like Resident Doom or something. Anyway, it turned out to be kind of a failure. I'm not sure if it was my fault or the fact that my friends kept using it and breaking it and not doing what they were supposed to do. But then again, like I said, that could have been my fault. Anyway, you start here on this little boat out in the little water. Come on down here. And here's where the rules are. Basic rules. You're on vacation aboard the Ender Pearl with your girlfriend. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a storm crops up and you get knocked downstairs and you fall, essentially. And you get knocked unconscious. These are just some video settings. Stuff like that. In the rulebook, a lot of the stuff in the game had to have someone like me, an operator, flying around invisible to monitor and watch the player. And a lot of other things that I couldn't really do with redstone in the game, I had to do myself while the player was playing. It was kind of irritating because you really had to follow close, and you couldn't stop to fix anything or give away any. But yeah, I had to put on all these rules because, like I said, my friends kept breaking them and straying and goofing stuff up, and these are just warning. Yeah, I was as you can see, I was kind of really upset. But these are just some of the stuff you find throughout the game. And like we've got books. Read the book titles down here. There's riddles, notes. These are just stuff that would be written on a wall, essentially, or plaques. Anything that you'd see is like a sign. I don't know why I didn't just use a sign. And this is the goal. You need to collect 5 blocks, 5 different stones, and those are the netherrack, lapis, emerald, diamond, and glowstone. Those are the 5 you needed to collect in order to save your girlfriend. And like I said, this was a very ambitious project in which I kind of wasn't able to due to completion, due to some of Minecraft's limitations. This is the other thing, you can find keys and you use them here. And that's how you unlock doors and such. When you're ready, you would just hit the button and whisked off to here. Game mode cleared, adventure mode set, and everything else done. And here you'd find some food and some torches. And a note. So, you got knocked out, and your girlfriend went off to go find help after they docked. What? And here it is. Now, I'm going to be telling you all the secrets and how I kind of did this and answers to puzzles. And the reason I'm telling you all this is because, of course, it didn't work. And I can tell you why it didn't work, but all these are kind of evolutions to a final end. Small map of the area. Most time-consuming part of this was replacing all the grass with muslin. But still, very cool. Kind of give you just a rundown. the outside area. These two things over here I was particularly proud of my construction. The graveyard and the lighthouse. Two things I've used in several of my other maps. Run down on the outside area. And the lighthouse too I was very proud of. There's a puzzle in there we'll get to in a little while. But yeah, you know, I was very, very happy with the way this turned out. And all of this is part of the game. It's not just there for ambiance. The player was intended to go and search through all this in order to find their way. Haha, you will never find her. Echoes through the halls. Cool thing about that is there's a circuit set up under here to make sure that will go off the first time you go through, but never again. I can show that later in a little bit. So this is the first room. Special jukebox. Very same kind of lounge. These kind of clues are left all over. And this is the layout. The 5 stones need to be at the very end in order to open the door to As you can see, these notes and clues are left everywhere. Warmth of the fire will light your way. Well, I wonder what that means. Let's go back over this way and find out. Oh, look, a switch. It's more of my takeaway doors. Again, I can put up a description and a link to my how-to video on those. Another note. From atop all the knowledge, the answer is clear. So I find a key, some arrows, and a bow. Cool. Knowledge is kept in books. Again. And downfalls. The little red, your first block, the redstone. Yay. Now again, I did a few playthroughs with some friends and it took them, some people got it right away, some people not so much, and needed to be a little pointed to it. But still, it was very give or take. Some people got it, some people didn't. This is the second floor. Now the other issue I had with these keys, and this is why again I had to watch the player very carefully, is there's really nothing stopping them from slapping it here on this wall and opening this door up, which again is not the purpose. You had to put it on the keyhole. Again, there's no real way of monitoring that. Again, limitations of Minecraft. But this was just more of me trying to set ambiance. I didn't want to sleep. That was weird. So very scary diary entries from some of the people who may have worked around the house. Now, I didn't know if you noticed before, all the rooms are labeled with this color block. Now, again, I thought this was kind of screaming it to the player, but believe it or not, a lot of people really had trouble with this puzzle, and I'm not really sure why. I mean, again, it could be obvious to me because I made it, but every time you pull a switch, there's a colored block right next to it, and that, of course, corresponds to the colored block in front of the door. So orange was obviously the big room over here, the one that belongs to Count Frankenwolf. Kind of a weird amalgamation of Count Dracula, Frankenstein, and the werewolf. Wolfman. But just his little room here, and of course, there are some of his notes on opening portals and how he's going to plan to do that. Just, again, trying to set ambiance. The other cool thing I was doing is you can read some books, or book titles almost. Like, this is the Nethernomicon, the Monster Manual, Opening Portals for Dummies, etc. Just weird little things I stuck around the house. But there's another little thing, so it's right in here, for the blue room. Another tiny, tiny room. Another small diary. This poor gentleman, I guess, was carted off downstairs for some experimentation and is going through some serious issues. There's another orange one. So wait, the orange room's already open. I wonder what that opened in the orange room. And again, we have another classic example of my pull-away door in the library bookcase. I was a huge fan of this in films, and I was so happy to finally get a circuit that can do it effectively in Minecraft. And back here is the secret room. When the skeleton shoots his target, the 6 heads at the foot of the bed will return what they stole. Yeah, I had a lot of fun writing the clues. So I flip the switch for the last room. And the reason I use the command blocks instead of signs, and I remember this now, is in case someone had to refer back to them for it, they didn't have to run all the way back to the location of the clue. Okay, so these are 6 heads. Go to the bed. So a key and another diary. Apparently that person was talking about the other poor gentleman in the other room. But yeah, so like if I get here and I can't remember what the rest of the clue said, all I had to do is tap T. Skeleton shoots his target. Okay. What is that? Oh, there's a skeleton right here. What's he looking at? Oh, look at that. This was another issue that I had. A lot of people, most of my friends are mean. And when they were playtesting this, they had fun just running along and breaking all the paintings. And so they'd come and break this and have no idea what the clue was talking about. A couple of the other ones just walk by, ooh, a button, clicked it, and then, like, it didn't do anything. Click, 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 and they get a dozen diamond blocks. And it didn't really work out as well as I'd hoped. And that's why there's a rule that says don't break anything. But up here, this is the top floor of the attic. There are several areas for keys here. Which again, you can use here, but you're kind of out of a key because you need at least 2 to open. But there are extras. Like I said, if I were to do this here and open it with the switch, I'm out of a key. But that switch needs to be flipped. So, let's say you're keyless. Let's move real quick. This is also in adventure mode, so no blocks can be broken no matter how hard you punch them. And unless you have those specific tools for them. So most of the time you enter an area, it'll set that spawn point for you in case you fall, die, starve. And the other thing is when you die, or you keep all of your items. So no items are lost ever. And those were all set in the command blocks early on. Anyway, so let's say you're keyless and you're just doing some exploring. One of the places you can go is this lighthouse here. Let's go check that out. Another really, very pleased with this construction as well. Only the right order will provide the light. Obviously, they're talking about the globe. Anyway, this is another puzzle I was fairly proud of. These switches all have to be turned on in order to give the glowstone. But they have to be done in the right order, which is a circuit, again, I was very proud of. He used a lot of stopping and starting. Anyway, if I were to start here, turn all these on, you would not get the glowstone. And the reason I put the lamps is to tell which is activated and which is not. Just give the player a little more idea of what's turned on. But anyway, you can try as many combinations as you want, but you never really know when to start. Here. Lost soul who left loved ones, the keeper of secrets. Ooh, cryptic. Oh, I wonder what I'm supposed to do with this. Again. Sometimes I get lazy, sometimes I get creative. But yeah, the other issue... So I gave the player the shovel. Obviously, because there's a clue in the graveyard somewhere. And I wonder what I'm supposed to find it. But the other issue I had with this... So of course, I wanted the player to dig up the graves. And only the full ones. See, this is where... But with the shovel, you can dig up any piece of dirt you want. Henceforth breaking the rest of the game, and etc., etc. So, using it properly, you can dig through here. Nothing in there. Sometimes you'll find something. One of these has a chest with some bones in it. But the lost soul who left loved ones is, of course, the grave that has the flowers by it. Dig through here, just to be sure. You flip the switch. Yay! But oh no, zombies come out of graves! And if you have some arrows left, or you can hit them, only one will come out. So you don't have to worry about 1,000 coming out like my previous dungeons. Ah! Dick. Why won't you die? And also the mausoleum is open. Very kind of creepy. Uh-oh. Was hoping to find the green block here. It's mine. I've taken it and hidden it. It calls to me. Creepy. And here I left some more clues. First one, green stone of death caused some people to go mad. Of course, that's referring to the scribbled note in the center. This was again all waylaying to the idea that your girlfriend is in trouble and is about to be killed, essentially. You know, the crazy madman who owns the house is planning on sacrificing her so he can become a demon or a god. It's never really stated, and it wasn't really thought through. And the last one, of course, is the clue for the light. When green, blue, red, yellow, and teal fall in order, you will receive the light. Now, I'm pretty much stating outright the order of which the levers need to fall. We can head back there. Now, I know you won't be able to hear it, but upon the proper order, and when it's done correctly, you'll hear a couple note blocks go off. It's usually a dun-dun or something like that, just to give the player a little idea that they've done it properly. So it was green, blue, white, red, yellow, and teal. And honestly, all you have to know is where it starts, and that's green. So green needs to go first. And teal. When that happens, you'll hear a little dun-dun. And the glowstone's sitting right here, having dropped from the ceiling. Yay, I now have 3 of the 5 blocks required. There we go. Okay, so now we can go back to the house. And I can unlock the attic room. Yay! Again, I've used the lighthouse layout and this, thanks to MC Edit, and several other of my maps for ambiance or such stuff like that, because I really love the way they came out, and I think they look amazing. I don't know, there's a note over here. It just says, "Welcome to Castle Frankenwolf." Go all the way back over here. The other issue I had with this is with the redstone lighting. I really love the way how it looks. It's very dark. It's very creepy, but this is also why I had the video settings as a rule in the beginning. Some people who had their video settings turned too low wouldn't be able to see it all. It would be pitch black, and it was a serious issue because they couldn't find their way around. And using normal torches just lit the whole place up, and all sorts of ambiance or feeling was lost. Oh no! Whoa, why does he have a shovel? Oh, Minecraft. Anyway, so there's a zombie up here, and you don't know where he's from. Dies. Coming over here. You find the green block. With a scribbled note. One of those stones called to me. It whispered, "It's mine. I had no stone glows brighter and it feels better. You'll never take it from me." Essentially, the gentleman who stole the stone from its place came and hit up here, and it killed him. It turned him into a zombie, and he was also the gentleman who owned one of the rooms downstairs. Again, I was trying to create these characters and these people who you were kind of following the story of them, but it didn't really work out as well as I'd hoped. After this, there's only one more I need. This was the other thing. A person could easily just come and take those or knock them away, and they'd go away forever. There's one more place to check, though, and that was the basement. Memory serves. I think the issue I had is I forgot to put another key. Once. There's supposed to be a key in that top attic room. And this leads to the basement. Nice little dining area, kitchen. I don't know if you saw a clue earlier, but it said the water stone is frozen. Again, as you can see, this was towards the end of the construction. I got lazy. Clues got misleaded. You can easily tell that it was in the freezer. Put the key over here. Just hop away in there. Oops, that switches into my fall away floors again. I have a link to that in video if you want to check it out. But yeah, it's one of my favorite things to use. It's going to lead into the order of the blocks. You come down here. This is the kind of sacrificial area. I was using redstone ore for blood. That looked cool, but the idea here is this did not work unless the stones were in the proper place. And this is again where I really couldn't set the game up to watch or have that be set. I had to actually watch the player myself in order to be sure they did it correctly. And unfortunately, if they didn't, I had to come in, break the blocks, give them a new one. It just really didn't work out as well as I hoped. But when it was set in the proper order, again, it was a clue. I would be over here in the corner hiding invisible, and I'd break this block here, flip that, and then they would be able to pull this lever, open it, and the portal to the nether would appear, to which they would enter. Now, luckily for me, I didn't have to spend too much time building an area. I had already found a large nether structure that I just kind of built off of and connected with the portal itself. But in this area over here, there's some armor, and there's a really nice bow, and there should be some arrows scattered around, essentially preparing you for a boss fight. And this is right after the Wither mob got released, so of course the bad guy is going to be the Wither. But yeah, they're scattered among the area. I'm not really going to go searching for them. But if you scour the entire area, you'll find all the pieces. Then you're meant to go this way. And again, if you died for any particular reason, you keep all the items, you keep your sword, you keep your armor. And you could just come back through the nether and keep fighting the Wither until it was dead. We're going the wrong way. Hang on, yeah. The torches lead the way. It's kind of a maze. At the very end, I would be sitting there with my girl skin on in a small cage after setting up the Wither to fight. So I'd have a little head here, and I'd put it down. And the player would just, with his bow and his arrows, he would fight the Wither. I'm just gonna kind of kill it really quick. But the issue is, I originally given the player just a sword, and then after my initial run through, I remembered that the Wither flies, and so essentially the player was helpless and was just running around getting obliterated by the Wither. But when you were all said and done, the game would be over and you'd be teleported back to the ship and you'd win. Yay! And again, I had some issues with players. One of the best playthroughs I had was by one of my friends, who, I shit you not, got off the boat in the beginning, looked up at the house after reading all the stuff. It was like, time to go get my girlfriend. He just goes, nope, breaking up with her. I'm going back to bed. But yeah, so again, this was a fail. Although it was a very fun build, I had a lot of fun working towards more of textual and thinking puzzles as opposed to my previous dungeons that were more of physical challenges where like you're dodging or jumping or figuring stuff out. And I think at some point I'm going to try and create a dungeon that really mixes both of those together, like a difficult mental puzzle mixed with a hard physical challenge. And but yeah, so this is not one of my favorites, but still had a blast making it. I think it looks really cool. It flows really well. And on top of that, it gave me a lot of cool insights and it was cool ideas. You guys were interesting the way this circuit up here functioned, but let me show you real quick. Think about it. There's a kind of an idea how it works. So, power everything off real quick. So when powered off, these are locked. If you don't start with green, nothing else really happens. Like you turn that off. Oh, I remember. It's got, see, like this is the issue. It also has to be powered off in the same order too. Otherwise, the yeah, it'll still remain powered. Here, here. There we go. That's not functioning. So yeah, this is it powered off. This is again why I added the lights. But so the idea is if you were to start here like blue, for example, it would actually lock that lock the powered one cold. So that could never be turned on, even if you turned on green later. And that goes same pretty much for the other ones. So power start here, power that one. Oh, it's not powering. There it goes. You know, it wouldn't really power anything, and as long as, but green had to be pulled first. So green powers this one. That locks that on. Continues to delock these until it's done in the proper order. And it works pretty well. So yeah, that's Resident Doom, my failed minigame. I hope you had fun watching, and you can check out some of my other dungeon videos. I can tell you right now a little bit. I am working on a dungeon right now that isn't really a dungeon, it's more of a castle. Because there's no challenges or anything, it's just my attempt on really getting a handle on fully furnishing a large-scale castle. And when I'm done with that, and I get the handle on that, I'll be able to create a large-scale castle with both intellectual puzzles and text puzzles mixed with hardcore challenges like my other previous dungeons, to create a very successful and fun gameplay adventure experience that's both challenging and entertaining. And so I'm going to put the links up there for those right now, and I hope you enjoyed this. Again, this is Toxic Roach. Happy crafting!